Greetings one and all, I'm Red Angel, and welcome to another episode of Late Night Ponderings, my series of mini editorials that covers a wide range of subjects. Today's subject, Octopath Traveler and the Parallel Narrative. A big thanks to Modest Narcissus who gifted me this game. Sorry I didn't get to it sooner. Octopath Traveler is a game released by Square-Enix in 2018, and it was critically lauded, selling almost 1.5 million copies worldwide as of 2019. One of the reasons for the positive reception is because of the nonlinear parallel narrative, which is hardly anything new for the company given titles like Final Fantasy XIII, but what is unique to Octopath Traveler is the sort of narrative that runs in tandem with each character. One way to look at it would be if your favorite TV show had a scenario where one character is doing one thing while another character is doing something else. This is what is referred to as an A plot and a B plot. Characters doing two separate things at the exact same time, and the less important one is usually residing in the B plot. But what makes Octopath Traveler a tandem narrative is that all the plots are A plots. They're the main storyline in each of their own contained universe. They're all going on at the same time, and when the player visits the main questlines for each of the travelers, they're happening in unison like a grand symphony of sorts. Each of the events we see in the respective introduction of the 8 travelers are happening all at once, and that's the thing that sets Octopath Traveler apart. Not only does it employ non-linear gameplay with multiple endings, the endings corresponding with each character, but it has concurrent storylines running simultaneously. The player's chosen character is present for the other travelers' opening questlines, lingering in the background as a passenger for their opening sequence, essentially being the only link connecting each of these characters together. I like to think of them as a pseudo-leader of the party, considering they're the main one the player controls. The characters don't interact with each other outside of battles and small optional travel banter cutscenes that can be missed if the player isn't paying attention. Whichever order you choose to start your journey in doesn't matter. The results are always the same. You just see the characters' endings in a different order. And in the post-game, you can achieve the quote-unquote true ending, which is a final boss that loosely connects all the characters together. That last part where there's a final boss connecting all the characters that they have to unite to defeat, that's a typical ending of any sort of JRPG. A common enemy uniting unlikely allies in a fight to save the world. And I've just described a good portion of comics, fantasy novels, sci-fi novels, and most video game team-ups with an ensemble cast as well. That's not even mentioning all the movies and TV shows that go under the same premise. There are quite a bit more I can mention here, but I have faith that my audience can connect the dots for just how conventional this sort of thing is. This isn't inherently bad, it's just a common facet of storytelling that's prevailed for millennia, because for the most part it works well. For the most part. What I like about Octopath Traveler is that the narrative of the main game, not the post-game, is entirely driven by whichever character you choose to lead the party. Which means in my case I had Honette gather Therion first, then Ophelia, Alphen, Primrose, Teresa, Ulbrich, and finally, Cyrus. It provides a unique narrative that's all your own, since the individual travelers aren't talking constantly like they are in the Tales of series, and the party banter is limited to the main quests. You, as the player, have to make your own stories as you destroy random enemies or go to do some random side quests. While some may see this as an outdated mechanic and think that the characters should be a bunch of chatty hyenas, I respectfully disagree. I find that it adds to the sort of narrative that Octopath Traveler is trying to provide. With the structure of the game being as open as it is, it works effortlessly with the idea that the players are being thrown into the driver's seat of creating their own sequence of events, and with keeping interactions to a minimum, it allows players to perceive that they're creating their own separate timelines. Which they are. What adds to the distinctiveness of the non-linear parallel narrative of Octopath is that your main character and your first questline of the game influences how you look at the land of Ostera from a psychological perspective. Hear me out. In video games, we are given a character whose entire point of view we see everything from. In Octopath Traveler, we have the option of 8 different points of view. For example, if you start with Ophelia, you see events through the eyes of a naive young priestess who is making her pilgrimage to multiple cities. For the most part, her questline is about seeing and bringing out the best in people. Contrast that with Primrose's, which consists of her watching her father get murdered as a child, becoming a prostitute at a young age and going on a quest for vengeance and learning that it doesn't give her the same satisfaction that she thought it would. Do you see what I mean here? We see Austria from all of their perspectives, but that first choice changes our perception of the place that we're traveling through. Post-game aside, this is the one connecting thread in all the storylines. 8 different characters with 8 different distinctive views of their country. 8 different stories, 8 different endings. Events that run alongside each other, but don't quite connect unless you go out of your way and play through each character's life. Want to know what the beautiful part of this is? You don't have to finish all the characters' routes, because when you complete one, the game considers itself beaten. While the game doesn't offer more unorthodox choices like dialogue options on who lives and who dies, what it does have is player choice that can't be overlooked. You're the master of these characters and when they complete their epic sagas, or if they finish them at all. There aren't multi-layered decisions asking you whether or not you want to go Paragon or Renegade with your choices, or various morally gray decisions that ultimately go nowhere. Octopath doesn't give you options like that because the stories of Alphen, Ophelia, Primrose, Hanette, Therion, Ulbrich, Teresa, and Cyrus have already been written, and all you're doing is helping them play it out. You watch them each unfold individually on their own terms, taking on challenges and growing as people, with their interactions with the party outside of combat being entirely optional. This is a tale you're watching take place. And while the narrative isn't entirely interactions like many games nowadays are, I think that this approach to storytelling is just as valid. With Octopath Traveler bringing something familiar, yet entirely different to the table, I think it presents itself as a path that I'd be willing to travel down anytime. I'm Red Angel, and I'll see you next time. Greetings everyone, Red Angel here. If you like what you see, I'd appreciate it if you subscribed to my channel and clicked on the notification button so you'll see all my new uploads. Check out the descriptions for links to my Patreon, Discord, and Ko-fi. Thank you so much for watching, and stay safe out there.